Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak directly to you about a truth that can change your life. Your calling is greater than your crisis. We all face moments in life when the weight of our problems feels unbearable. When the storms rage and the nights are long, it's easy to lose hope and think, maybe this is the end of the road for me. But let me tell you, your crisis is not your identity, nor is it your final destination. The first thing to understand is that crises are temporary. They come like storms, sometimes fierce, sometimes overwhelming, but they don't last forever. What lasts is your calling, your divine purpose, your reason for being here. Your calling is permanent, and it is far greater than any obstacle you face. Every crisis is a setup for your breakthrough. Look at the greatest people in history, the leaders, the entrepreneurs, the visionaries. They all faced crises. But they didn't allow those moments to define them. Instead, they used their crises as a platform to rise higher. Your crisis is the training ground where your character is built and your calling is refined. This journey demands faith and a positive mindset. It's what separates those who quit from those who conquer. In times of trouble, you have to believe, not just wish or hope, that something better is on the horizon. Faith in God, faith in yourself, and faith in the process gives you the strength to keep moving. You have to stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this preparing me for? Now, I want to be clear, faith alone isn't enough. Your calling requires intentional action. You must take the necessary steps even when fear tries to paralyze you. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's moving forward in spite of it. That's how you honor your calling. That's how you turn dreams into reality. You cannot do this alone. Surround yourself with people who believe in your calling as much as you do. Find mentors who have walked the path, friends who uplift you, and communities that encourage growth. The right support system will empower you to withstand the storm and pursue your purpose relentlessly. Your crisis is not your end. Your calling is greater. Stay focused, stay faithful, and keep moving forward. Your breakthrough is on the other side of your struggle. When life hits you with a crisis, it's natural to feel overwhelmed, confused, and even defeated. The weight of the problem can make it seem like the entire world is collapsing around you. But one of the most important truths you must grasp is that crisis is temporary, while your calling is permanent. This distinction is what will keep you grounded, focused, and moving forward when everything inside you wants to give up. Think of crisis like a storm. When a storm comes, it's loud, chaotic, and unsettling. It shakes your foundation, it floods your streets, and it disrupts your normal routine. But no matter how intense the storm is, it doesn't last forever. Eventually, the skies clear, the sun shines again, and life goes back to normal, often with new growth and opportunity that only the rain could bring. Your crisis is that storm. It may feel like it will never end, but it is only a season, not a lifetime. It is a chapter in your story, not the whole book, but your calling. That purpose that lives deep within you, the mission you were born to fulfill is permanent. It is the reason you're here. It's the legacy you will leave. Unlike the storm, your calling remains steady and unchanging. The problem is, many people confuse their crisis with their identity. They start to believe that because they are struggling, they must be struggling forever. They see their failure, their pain, or their setback as who they are. This mindset creates defeat, and it keeps them stuck in a place of despair. But the truth is, your crisis does not define you. Your calling does. Your crisis is a test of your calling. It's a moment designed to stretch you, grow you, and prepare you for greater things. When you understand this, it changes how you face your challenges. Instead of shrinking back, you rise up with confidence, knowing the storm is passing, but your purpose is not. In fact, many of the world's most successful people attribute their breakthroughs to moments of crisis. They didn't quit when the storm came. They stayed committed to their calling. They held on to the vision, of what they were meant to do, even when the path seemed impossible. So the question you have to ask yourself is, are you going to let the storm define you, or are you going to stand firm in your calling? When you remind yourself daily that the crisis is temporary, but your calling is eternal, you build resilience. You develop the patience and persistence necessary to walk through any storm and come out stronger on the other side. This mindset is not just hopeful, it's practical. It shifts your energy from fear to faith, from despair to determination. It equips you to take the necessary steps forward, even if they're small and uncertain. Because when you know your calling is greater than your crisis, you realize every struggle is a setup for your next level. So don't get stuck in the storm. Look beyond the crisis to the purpose that's waiting for you. Your calling is bigger than your problems, stronger than your fears, and more powerful than any challenge life throws your way. Keep your eyes on that, and you'll never be defeated. One of the most powerful principles to understand when you're facing hardship is this: your crisis is not an accident or a dead end. It is a setup for your breakthrough. When life puts you in difficult situations, it is preparing you for something greater. Every challenge, every setback, every obstacle is a part of the process designed to strengthen you, sharpen you, and position you for success. You see, in the world of business, sports, or personal growth, no one achieves greatness without going through a period of testing. Just like metal must go through fire to become stronger and purer, you too must endure the heat of crisis to develop the qualities you need for your calling. Your crisis is the fire that forges your character, builds resilience, and teaches you lessons you can't learn any other way. Think about some of the greatest success stories you know. Whether it's entrepreneurs who started with nothing, athletes who overcame injuries, or leaders who faced immense opposition, they all went through their own crises. But the difference between those who succeed and those who give up is how they respond to their crisis. Successful people recognize that their difficulties are temporary setups, not permanent prisons. A crisis forces you to rethink your strategy, to get creative, and to grow beyond your comfort zone. It challenges your beliefs and your habits, pushing you to develop new skills and new ways of thinking. When you embrace this mindset, you start to see crises not as enemies, but as powerful teachers and stepping stones toward your breakthrough. Your crisis also builds mental toughness. When you keep going despite setbacks, you train your mind to overcome fear, doubt, and discouragement. This mental toughness is essential because every calling worth pursuing requires perseverance. The path to your purpose is rarely easy. It's filled with obstacles. But each obstacle you overcome makes you stronger and more prepared to handle what's next. It's important to realize that breakthroughs often come right after the darkest moments. Many people give up just before their victory. But if you understand that your crisis is setting you up, you will refuse to quit. You will push through, knowing that the pain, the struggle, and the hard work are temporary and necessary for your growth. Crises have a way of stripping away the unnecessary and revealing what truly matters. They help you focus on your priorities and align your actions with your calling. When you look back after your breakthrough, you'll see how every difficulty was actually a stepping stone that prepared you to walk into your destiny. So, the next time you find yourself in the middle of a crisis, remind yourself, this is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a breakthrough. Your crisis is the training ground where your greatness is born. Embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Your breakthrough is waiting on the other side. When you find yourself in the middle of a crisis, what often determines your outcome isn't just the situation itself, but how you think about it and what you believe. Faith and mindset are your greatest assets when the storms of life hit. They are the inner resources that enable you to rise above your circumstances and keep moving forward toward your calling. Faith is more than just religious belief, though it can include that. Faith is a deep, unshakable trust that despite what you see and feel, there is a bigger plan at work. It's the confidence that you will not be defeated by the current crisis because your purpose is greater than your pain. When you cultivate faith, you build a foundation that no storm can wash away. Your mindset, on the other hand, is the way you frame your experience in your mind. It's the lens through which you view your crisis. When you develop a mindset of faith and possibility, you stop seeing your challenges as dead ends and start seeing them as opportunities to learn, grow, and prepare. This shift in thinking is crucial because your thoughts shape your emotions and your actions. Most people get stuck because they let negative thoughts dominate during a crisis. They ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Or "Will I ever get out of this?" These questions breed fear, anxiety, and hopelessness, but when you change your questions to, "What is this preparing me for?" or "How can I use this to grow?" your mind starts to look for solutions instead of problems. Faith and mindset work together like a powerful engine. Faith gives you the fuel, hope, trust, and belief that powers you through the tough times. Mindset gives you the steering wheel. It directs your focus toward growth, action, and resilience. Without faith, your mind can easily be hijacked by fear. Without the right mindset, your faith remains passive and ineffective. One of the most practical ways to build faith and mindset is through daily habits. Reading scripture, motivational books, or listening to uplifting messages can reinforce your belief system. Surrounding yourself with positive influences and affirming communities also helps your mindset stay aligned with your calling, not your crisis. It's also important to practice gratitude, even in the midst of difficulty. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right in your life. This simple practice can drastically improve your mindset and reinforce your faith that things will get better. Faith is not about ignoring reality. It's about trusting that there is a purpose behind your reality and that you have the strength to overcome it. When you combine faith with a mindset of growth and perseverance, you create an unstoppable force that can carry you through any crisis. So, if you want to honor your calling, start by strengthening your faith and mindset today. Believe that your crisis is temporary. Believe that you are equipped to handle it. And believe that your calling is greater than any challenge. This inner work will transform your experience and set you on the path to breakthrough. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions that can stop you in your tracks when you face a crisis. It whispers doubts in your ear, paints pictures of failure, and convinces you that you are not strong enough to keep going. But here's the truth you need to hear today. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking intentional action despite fear. Your calling demands that you keep moving forward, even when fear tries to paralyze you. Many people wait for the fear to disappear before they take action. They think that once they feel confident, once the conditions are perfect, then they will step into their purpose. But that's a myth. Fear doesn't usually just go away. Instead, you learn to act in spite of it. This is where faith and courage meet, when you decide that your calling is more important than your comfort zone. Taking intentional action means making decisions and moves that are aligned with your purpose, no matter how small those steps may seem. It's about showing up every day and doing the work required to advance toward your goal. Even when the outcome isn't guaranteed, even when the path is unclear, you take the next step because your calling won't wait for you to be fearless. Think about the people who have achieved greatness. They didn't let fear control them. They acknowledged it, but they refused to be ruled by it. They understood that action creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence, and confidence reduces fear. This cycle starts the moment you decide to act. One practical way to overcome fear is by breaking your goals into smaller, manageable tasks. When the big picture looks overwhelming, focus on what you can do right now. Maybe it's making a phone call, sending an email, or learning a new skill. These intentional actions compound over time and lead you closer to fulfilling your calling. Another key point is consistency. Courageous action isn't about one big heroic leap. It's about showing up day after day, especially when you don't feel like it. It's about discipline and commitment to your purpose. When you develop this habit, fear loses its grip because you prove to yourself repeatedly that you can handle discomfort and uncertainty. Your calling is too important to let fear dictate your life. When you take intentional action, you honor your purpose. You demonstrate to yourself and to the world that your calling matters more than any crisis. You become a living example that breakthroughs come not from waiting, but from doing. So today, make a commitment. You will not wait for fear to disappear before you act. You will not let paralysis stop your progress. Instead, you will take intentional, purposeful steps forward, trusting that with every move you make, you are fulfilling your destiny. Your calling is greater than your fear, and your actions will prove it. When you're in the middle of a crisis, the people you surround yourself with can either lift you up or drag you down. One of the most powerful strategies to overcome challenges and stay committed to your calling is to build a strong support system. People who believe in your purpose, encourage your growth, and hold you accountable to your vision. Your environment matters, and the right support network can be a game changer on your journey. Think about it. No one succeeds alone. Every great leader, entrepreneur, or change maker has a circle of mentors, friends, coaches, and allies who help them navigate difficult times. These people provide wisdom, motivation, and perspective when your own strength is running low. They remind you of your calling when the crisis tries to convince you to quit. When you build a support system, you create a positive feedback loop. The encouragement and advice you receive fuel your faith and mindset. They challenge you to think bigger, act bolder, and stay consistent even when the going gets tough. Having others believe in your potential can help you believe in yourself more deeply. It's important to be intentional about who you let into your inner circle. Surround yourself with people who uplift your spirit, hold high standards, and live by principles that align with your values. Avoid toxic relationships that drain your energy or plant seeds of doubt. Your calling deserves the best influences. Mentors and coaches are especially valuable because they have already walked the path you're on. They can offer insights, shortcuts, and warnings that save you time and frustration. They can help you see opportunities where you might only see obstacles. Seek out those who have the experience and heart to guide you wisely. Equally important are peers and community. Being part of a group of like-minded individuals who share your goals or values creates a sense of belonging and accountability. When you face setbacks, this community can rally around you, celebrate your wins, and encourage you to keep pushing forward. Support systems also provide emotional resilience. Crisis often brings feelings of isolation and discouragement. Having people to talk to, pray with, or simply listen makes a huge difference. It reminds you that you are not alone in your journey and that others care about your success. Building a support system is not just about receiving. It's also about giving. When you invest in others, offer encouragement, and share your knowledge, you strengthen your network. Relationships built on mutual support and respect are more powerful and lasting. Your calling requires a village. When you intentionally surround yourself with positive, supportive, and experienced people, you create a foundation that can withstand any crisis. Their belief in your calling will bolster your own faith and courage. Together, you'll move past obstacles, accelerate growth, and fulfill your destiny. Evaluate your circle. Are the people around you helping you reach your calling? If not, take steps to connect with those who will. Your environment can either limit you or launch you. Choose wisely because your calling is too important to navigate alone. As we come to the close of this message, remember this. Your crisis is not the end of your story. It is simply a chapter in the journey toward your destiny. The storms you face today are temporary, but your calling is eternal. When you understand that your crisis is a setup for your breakthrough, when you choose faith and cultivate the right mindset, when you take intentional action despite fear, and surround yourself with a support system that uplifts you, you position yourself to rise above any challenge. Never allow your temporary struggles to define you or limit your potential. Your calling is greater than any crisis, stronger than any fear, and bigger than any obstacle. So, stand firm in your purpose. Keep moving forward with courage, and believe wholeheartedly that your breakthrough is just on the other side of the storm. You were born for greatness. Your calling demands your commitment. Now is the time to walk boldly toward it, knowing that every step you take, no matter how small, is progress toward the life you were designed to live. Stay committed, stay focused, and let your calling shine brighter than any crisis. Thank you.